The rain hammered the windshield like accusations, each drop a reminder of the lies piling up in the back seat of his Chevy. Nicholas slammed the car door behind him, the echo swallowed by the storm, as he stumbled toward the back entrance of the Lakeside Motel on the outskirts of Chicago, his weekly confessional booth, where sins were whispered in the dark and absolved in sweat-soaked sheets. But tonight, the room was empty, Tyler's duffel bag gone, the bed cold as the betrayal twisting in his gut. The man who'd made his closeted heart beat alive for the first time in years had vanished without a word, leaving only a single, crumpled Polaroid on the nightstand, a boyish grin from a life Nicholas thought he'd buried forever. Nicholas Harper had always been a man of routines, the kind that kept the chaos at bay. Mornings started with black coffee in a thermos, a quick kiss on his wife Elena's forehead as she stirred in their Lincoln Park brownstone, and then the commute to his corner office at the ad agency downtown, where he peddled dreams to Fortune 500 clients, sleek campaigns for bourbon that promised escape, cologne that whispered seduction. 48, with his broad shoulders still filling out tailored suits and a jawline that spoke of Midwestern grit, Nicholas was the picture of suburban success. 2 kids in college, a golden retriever named Max, and a wife who'd stuck by him through the agency's lean years and his own darker moods. Elena, with her warm Italian heritage and laugh like wind chimes, believed in second chances. She'd forgiven his late nights at client dinners more times than he deserved. But every Friday, like clockwork, the routine fractured. He'd text Tyler from a burner phone, 7 p.m., usual spot, and drive west toward the industrial sprawl of Cicero, where the motel's neon sign flickered like a guilty heartbeat. Tyler was 29, a freelance photographer with ink-sleeved arms and eyes the color of Lake Michigan on a stormy day, eyes that saw through Nicholas's armor from the first glance at that dive bar in Wicker Park 6 months ago. It started innocently enough. A shared cigarette outside the bathroom, Tyler's knee brushing his under the bar stool, a conversation that veered from Cubs baseball to the ache of unspoken truths. "You look like a man carrying the world," Tyler had said, his voice low and gravelly, laced with that South Side accent that made everything sound like poetry. Nicholas laughed it off then, but by closing time, they were in the alley, lips crashing, hands fumbling with zippers, the world narrowing to the heat of another man's body against his. That first night haunted him still, the raw urgency, the way Tyler's fingers traced the scars on his back from a long-ago bar fight, whispering, "Let go, Nick." Just for tonight. Nicholas hadn't let go. Not really. Guilt was his shadow, trailing him home to Elena's embrace, where he'd shower twice to wash away the scent of cheap motel soap and cheaper whiskey. But Fridays became his lifeline, the one place where the man he'd suppressed since college, the one who'd stolen kisses with his roommate in the dorms of Northwestern, could breathe. Tyler didn't ask for promises. He didn't pry about the ring on Nicholas's finger or the family photos in his wallet. Instead, he brought Polaroids from his shoots, gritty street scenes of Chicago's underbelly, lovers tangled in Millennium Park shadows, always with a caption scrawled in Sharpie, "This is us," hidden in plain sight. As the weeks blurred into months, the motel room evolved from a transaction to a sanctuary. They'd talk for hours after, sprawled on the sagging mattress, Tyler's head on Nicholas's chest, fingers interlacing like puzzle pieces finally clicking. "What's the wildest thing you've ever done?" Tyler asked once, his breath warm against Nicholas's skin. Nicholas hesitated, then confessed the half-truth, dropping out of law school for art, only to pivot to ads when Elena got pregnant with their first. Tyler shared fragments too, growing up in foster homes after his mom OD'd, scraping by with a camera as his only constant. "You're my anchor, Nick," he'd murmur, and Nicholas would pull him closer, ignoring the timer ticking in his mind. 1 hour until Elena expected him home for family dinner. It was on the 5th Friday that things shifted. Tyler arrived late, eyes red-rimmed, a fresh bruise blooming on his cheekbone. "Ex-roommate got handsy," he muttered, waving it off. But Nicholas pressed, tracing the mark with gentle thumbs. For the first time, Tyler let the vulnerability crack open. Stories of bar brawls over his fairy ways. The church youth group that outed him at 16. The string of hookups that never filled the void. Nicholas listened, heart pounding, and when Tyler leaned in, their kiss was slower, deeper, a promise neither voiced. Afterward, as they lay tangled, Tyler pulled out his camera, snapping a candid of Nicholas' mid-laugh, the rare light in his eyes unguarded. "For my collection," Tyler said, tucking it away. Nicholas didn't think much of it then. He was too busy memorizing the curve of Tyler's spine, the way his name sounded gasped in the dim light. By October, the affair had woven itself into Nicholas's veins like the autumn chill seeping through Chicago's L tracks. Elena noticed the distance. "You're here, but you're not," she'd say over pasta at home, her dark eyes searching his. He'd blame work, pull her into bed with practiced affection. But the touches felt hollow now, echoes of a life scripted before he knew what desire really meant. Tyler, though, was fire. Texts during lunch breaks that made Nicholas's pulse race. "Miss your hands already." Mixtapes of Springsteen and Sufjan Stevens slipped into his glove box. Notes folded into his suit pocket. "You're braver than you know," terrified him. This pull toward something real, something that could shatter the facade. Yet he couldn't stop. Fridays were his rebellion, his quiet revolution against the man the world demanded he be. The last Friday before the vanishing started like any other. Nicholas arrived early, heart hammering as he smoothed the rumpled bedspread. A bottle of bourbon chilling in the ice bucket, Tyler's favorite. The cheap stuff from Jewelosco that tasted like nostalgia. 7 came and went, 8 too. By 9, panic clawed at his chest. He paced the threadbare carpet, dialing the burner straight to voicemail. Tyler's gravelly greeting mocking him. "Leave a message, or better yet, show up." Nicholas fired off texts. "Where are you? Everything okay?" No reply. He drove the loop around Cicero twice, eyes scanning alleys for a familiar leather jacket. The one with the frayed cuffs Tyler swore brought him luck. Back at the motel, the room felt accusatory. The half-empty ashtray, the condom wrapper from last week glinting under the lamp. That's when he saw it, the Polaroid on the nightstand, face down like a bad omen. Nicholas snatched it up, flipping it over, and the world tilted. It wasn't one of Tyler's artsy shots. It was him, younger, maybe 22, grinning ear to ear in a faded Cubs jersey, arms slung around a lanky kid with messy brown hair and those same stormy eyes. The kid couldn't have been more than 10, gap-toothed, smile wide as the lakefront trail behind them. Scrawled on the border in childish block letters. "Me and Dad, Grant Park, Summer '94. Nicholas's breath caught, the bourbon rising bitter in his throat. This wasn't possible. The boy in the photo was Tyler. No, couldn't be. But those eyes. God, those eyes were his own, staring back from a face he'd tried to forget. He sank onto the bed, photo trembling in his grip, memories flooding like the rain outside. 25 years ago, before Elena, Before the agency, before he learned to bury his truths under layers of normalcy. There had been Alex, fiery, unapologetic Alex, the bartender at a Boys Town dive who'd cracked Nicholas open like a safe. 6 months of stolen weekends, whispers of forever in the shadow of the rainbow flags. Then the scare. Alex pregnant? No, that was impossible until the test confirmed it. A miracle or a curse from their reckless nights. Panic set in. Nicholas fled to his parents' farm in Iowa, begging Elena, his safe, straight-laced college sweetheart, to marry him and make it all disappear. She said yes, thinking it was love. He knew it was escape. Alex vanished after that. Letters returned unopened. The baby, Tyler's existence, a ghost he'd convinced himself never haunted him. But the photo lied, or truthed him. Tyler was that baby, the son he'd abandoned before birth, raised by a grieving Alex who never named the father in the foster records. How had Tyler found him, stumbled into that bar by fate, or hunted him down for revenge? Nicholas's phone buzzed. Elena, dinner's cold. Where are you? He deleted the text, staring at the Polaroid until his vision blurred. The man who'd vanished wasn't just his lover. He was his blood, his betrayal made flesh. And now, with Tyler gone, the secret clawed free, threatening to unravel everything. Dawn broke gray over Chicago, the kind of light that made the skyline look like a watercolor smear. Nicholas hadn't slept. The Polaroid burned a hole in his wallet now, tucked beside Elena's wedding photo like a loaded gun. He called in sick to the agency. First time in a decade. Mumbling about flu to his assistant, then drove aimlessly through the loop, wipers slapping rhythmically against the drizzle. Tyler's apartment was in Pilsen, a converted warehouse loft he'd bragged about once, walls papered in his prints. Nicholas parked 2 blocks away, heart thudding as he buzzed the intercom. No answer. He waited 10 minutes, 15, then tried the super, a burly Polish guy who eyed him suspiciously. Kid skipped rent last week. Cleared out Monday. Left a note, gone fishing, whatever that means, gone fishing. Tyler's code for vanishing ex. He joked once, a nod to his mom's old escapism. Nicholas thanked the super, numb, and wandered the murals of 18th Street, the vibrant saints and Aztec warriors mocking his monochrome world. Back home, Elena was in the kitchen, apron dusted with flour from her weekend baking ritual. You look like hell, Nick, she said, sliding a mug of coffee his way, her touch lingering on his hand. He flinched imperceptibly. He hoped and forced a smile. Rough night. Deadlines. She nodded, but her eyes held that knowing glint, the one that had chipped away at his lies for years. The day dragged in fragments. Grocery run to Whole Foods where he stared at organic kale like it held answers. A walk with Max along the lake, the dog's tail wagging oblivious to the storm in his master's chest. Voicemails to Tyler's phone, each more desperate. We need to talk. Please. It's about the photo. By evening, Elena suggested date night, Italian at Giordano's, their old spot, but Nicholas begged off with a headache, retreating to his study with a bottle of Glenfiddich. There, in the glow of his desk lamp, he pored over the Polaroid again. The boy Tyler, arm around young Nicholas, Alex's shadow faint in the background, pushing the swing. Alex had sent letters once he'd learned of the pregnancy. Begging, raging, then silent. Nicholas had burned them, told himself it was mercy. Now, mercy felt like cowardice. Monday blurred into reconnaissance. Nicholas skipped the office again, claiming a pitch in Milwaukee, and hit the streets Tyler haunted. Coffee shops in Logan Square where he'd shoot hipsters. Galleries in West Loop showcasing his gritty queer portraits. At a dimly lit spot called The Frame, the owner, a silver-haired queen named Marty, recognized Tyler's name. Talented kid, but troubled. Sold a series last month. Fathers and sons, all blurred faces and empty swings. Said it was cathartic. Nicholas's stomach dropped. He bought the prints on impulse. $800 he couldn't spare, wrapping them under his arm like contraband. Back in the car, he unwrapped one. A man in silhouette, back turned. A boy reaching out captioned echoes. Was this revenge? A cry for the dad who'd ghosted? That night, Elena confronted him over meatloaf. The kids were away, Sarah at U of I, studying poli-sci, Ben at Notre Dame, pre-med. But the house felt emptier, echoes amplifying the tension. Who's texting you from that number? Nick, the one you hide. Her voice cracked, not angry, but wounded, like the day she'd found lipstick on his collar years ago, blaming it on a hug from a client. Nicholas froze, fork midway to his mouth. Work, he lied, but she wasn't buying. I smelled smoke on you Friday. Cigars? Or something else? He reached for her hand, the script automatic. Apologies, promises, a kiss that tasted like ash. She softened, as always, murmuring, I love you, but I miss us. Guilt knifed him deeper than desire ever had. Tuesday brought a lead. Tyler's Instagram, dormant since Sunday. Last post a black and white of the motel sign, captioned last call. Nicholas scoured comments, nothing. Then, a DM from an account at Chi Shadows. Heard he's heading south. Be safe, brother. South? As in Texas, where Alex had family roots. Nicholas's mind raced to the foster files he'd Googled obsessively. Alex died 5 years back. Cancer. Tyler bounced between homes till 18. No father listed, deliberately erased. By noon, he was at the library in Humboldt Park, charming a reference librarian for access to old birth records. Nothing public, but a whisper. Sealed adoptions, private investigators for $500 a pop. He paid cash to a guy named Rico in a strip mall office, who grunted, 2 days. Don't get your hopes up. The wait was agony. Nicholas threw himself into work, pitching a campaign for a craft beer, Unleash the Wild, irony lost on the execs. Evenings, he'd slip out for runs, circling Tyler's haunts, flashing the Polaroid to baristas and bouncers. Seen this kid, faces blurred into nose. Elena grew distant, cooking solo, sleeping with her back turned. On Thursday, she left a note on the fridge. Therapy? For us? He crumpled it, then smoothed it out. Maybe she was right. But confession meant destruction. The wife, the career, the illusion of the good man. Rico called Friday, Tyler's trail cold after a bus ticket to St. Louis, no forwarding. Kid's a ghost. Man. Got a box of his stuff from the super. Want it? Nicholas met him at a dingy diner off I-55, handing over another Benjamin for a cardboard box smelling of darkroom chemicals and patchouli. Inside, sketch pads of unfinished portraits, a half-read Kerouac novel, a mixtape labeled for the road. And at the bottom, another Polaroid, this one of adult Tyler, staring straight at the lens. As accusatory, you left us. Why? Nicholas's vision swam. He drove to the motel on autopilot, the room unchanged, vacancy sign buzzing like bees. He checked in under a fake name, lay on the bed where they'd last tangled, and wept, ugly, shoulder-shaking sobs for the boy he'd been, the father he'd failed to be. Hours later, phone buzzing, Elena. Ben's game tomorrow. Come home. He didn't. Instead, he texted the burner one last time. I know the truth. I'm sorry. Let me find you. Dawn crept in, and with it, resolve. Saturday, he'd drive south St. Louis, Memphis, wherever the trail led. For Tyler, for the son he'd cheated not just on his wife, but on life itself. But Saturday shattered everything. Elena's call at 6 a.m. Nick, the police were here. Tyler Hayes, your friend, he's missing. They found his car in a ditch off 94. Keys in it, blood on the dash. Nicholas's world imploded, the phone slipping from numb fingers. Blood, ditch, the affair's secret sin now bled into daylight. Cops at his door. Elena's voice breaking over the line. What aren't you telling me? He raced home. The skyline mocking him, city of big shoulders, small mercies. Pulling into the driveway, Elena waited on the porch, arms crossed, face pale as the squad car idling curbside. Start talking, Nicholas. All of it. The detective's name was Vasquez, a no-nonsense Latina in her 40s with a badge that gleamed like judgment and eyes that stripped lies bare. She sat at Nicholas's kitchen table, notebook open, while Elena paced the tiles, coffee untouched. Mr. Harper. We pulled Mr. Hayes's phone records. Multiple calls to a prepaid number registered to you. Vasquez's pen hovered, expectant. Nicholas swallowed, throat dry as the Sahara. The box from Tyler's apartment lay hidden in the trunk of his car, Polaroids screaming silent accusations. We met at a bar, he started, voice steady by force of will. Casual. Friends. Elena snorted, a bitter sound that cut deeper than any blade. Friends who fuck in motels every Friday? I followed you once. Nick. Saw the room number. The rest. I guessed. The confession spilled then. Damn too long. The hookups. The feelings that bloomed unbidden. The weekly escapes that weren't just sex but salvation. Vasquez jotted notes. Impassive. Elena stopped pacing, sinking into a chair, face crumpling like wet paper. How long? She whispered. 6 months, Nicholas lied. Better than admitting the roots ran deeper, tangled in blood. Vasquez leaned in. Mr. Hayes vanished after a bar fight in Boys Town last Sunday. Witnesses say he argued with a guy matching your description. Tall, suit, agitated. Nicholas's gut twisted. He'd been there, yes, spotting Tyler across the room with a stranger's arm slung possessive around his waist. Jealousy flared, irrational, possessive, and words flew. Who's he? Another notch? Tyler's laugh, sharp as glass. Jealous? Dad? The photo's shadow hung unspoken between them. Tyler storming out, Nicholas too stunned to chase. I didn't hurt him, Nicholas insisted, palms up like surrender. Vasquez eyed him coolly. We found a printout in his car, your agency's address, circled. And that photo. She slid a photocopy across the table, the Grant Park Polaroid, Tyler's childish scrawl damning. Elena snatched it, eyes widening. Who's the kid? Nicholas met her gaze, the weight of 25 years crashing down. Me. And Tyler. When he was 10. Alex, Tyler's mom, was my. He faltered, the word boyfriend foreign on his tongue, archaic as a rotary phone. Elena's face drained of color. You have a son? And you let him? God. Nick. Vasquez cleared her throat. Alex Hayes. Died 2020. Tyler petitioned for his birth certificate last year, sealed, but leaks happen. You were listed, then redacted. The room spun. Nicholas gripped the table edge. Tyler knew. All along, those stormy eyes held not just desire, but reckoning. Vasquez left with his prince and a promise. We'll be in touch. Don't leave town. The door clicked shut, leaving Elena and Nicholas in wreckage. She rose, slow as an old film reel, and fetched a bottle of Chianti from the rack, their anniversary vintage. Drink, she said, pouring 2 glasses with hands that shook. They sat on the living porch swing, the autumn leaves skittering like fleeing secrets. Elena spoke first, voice raw. I knew you were unhappy. After Ben, you pulled away, sex became duty. I thought it was midlife, or work. Not this. Nicholas reached for her, but she recoiled. Don't. Tell me about him. The son. The story poured out, unvarnished. Alex in 94. The whirlwind of Boys Town liberation post-Stonewall echoes. 2 kids in love amid Reagan's AIDS shadows. The pregnancy, a fluke, doctors said. Hormones wild from grief over Alex's sister's death. Panic. Nicholas's Catholic upbringing screaming sin. His father's belt marks fresh from coming out whispers. I ran, he admitted, tears hot on his cheeks. Begged you to marry me because you were safe, Elena. And I loved you for that, for giving me a life I could live. She laughed. Hollow. A life built on lies. Did you ever love me? Or was I the beard? He pulled her close then, desperate. She let him, sobbing into his shirt. I love you still. But Tyler. He's the part of me I killed. They talked till dusk. Elena's questions probing like surgery. The motels, the tenderness. The moment Tyler showed the photo 2 weeks back. Voice breaking. I found you by accident. That. Then I fell for you. For real. Incestuous horror twisted with forbidden love. Nicholas had recoiled, fled the room. But Tyler followed, pleading, it's not about blood. It's about us. They'd made love that night fiercer than ever. Bodies bridging the chasm of years. But guilt festered. Elena listened, then stood. I need space. The guest room, for now. She paused at the door. Find him, Nick. For all of us. Sunday. Nicholas hit the road south. Elena's blessing a fragile thread. Lewis first. Tyler's bus drop-off. Perico's update. He checked hostels along the riverfront, flashing the photo to transients and tattooed bartenders. South Side kid? Yeah. Hitched a ride with truckers Tuesday. Heading to Memphis. Said something about closing circles. Memphis. Beale Street blues. Ghosts of civil rights marches. Nicholas drove through the night. Springsteen's Born to Run blasting. Memories replaying like a scratched vinyl. By Tuesday, he was in Elvis's city, pounding pavement from Sun Studio to the Peabody Ducks. Ironic, these symbols of Americana while his American dream crumbled. A pawn shop on South Main yielded gold. Tyler's camera, hawked for gas money, serial number matching the Polaroids. The clerk, a grizzled vet named Earl, remembered "pretty boy" as like hurt puppies. Said he was meeting family. Left this. Another photo, Tyler at a bus station, time-stamped yesterday, note scribbled, Nashville next. Don't follow. Too late. Nicholas was hooked, the father's instinct he'd denied roaring to life. Nashville, country heartland, but Tyler's path veered queer, bars on Printer's Alley where he'd blend into the leather crowds. He arrived Wednesday, exhausted, checking into a flea bag off Broadway. The Ryman Auditorium loomed, his gospel echoes mocking his sins. That night, at a dive called the Bluebird, he spotted a flyer, open mic, queer voices. Heart slamming, he went. Poets spilled verses of lost loves, reclaimed selves. Then, a slim figure in hoodie and jeans took the stage. Tyler, voice steady as he read from a crumpled notebook. Blood calls to blood, but love answers louder. To the father who ran, I forgive you. To the man who stayed, thank you. The crowd snapped approval. Nicholas surged forward, but Tyler vanished into the throng, a ghost in his own story. Outside, in the neon haze, Nicholas cornered him against a brick wall. Tyler, please. Tyler whirled, face a mask of fury and fear. You followed me? After everything. The punch landed square, fist to jaw, Nicholas staggering, tasting copper. That's for leaving. This, Tyler shoved him back, but his hands lingered, trembling. Is for coming back. They collapsed against the wall, foreheads touching, breaths mingling in the honky-tonk din. I didn't know, Nicholas gasped. Not till the photo. Tyler's laugh was bittersweet. Liar. You felt it. That's why you ran that night. Confession cracked open. The fight, the blood, Tyler's own. From a bar scuffle with bigots. Not Nicholas's doing. I left to protect you. From us. They talked till the bars closed. Sitting on a bench by the Cumberland, Tyler's head on Nicholas's shoulder. Mom told me stories. Your dad's a hero who got scared, hated you, then found you. Fell hard. Nicholas stroked his hair, the son's curls soft as the boy's in the photo. I love you as father. Everything. But Elena, Tyler pulled back. She's collateral. Fix that first. Dawn broke as Tyler stood. I'm staying here a bit. Shoot the music scene. Come back when you're free. Nicholas nodded, gutted but whole. The drive north was clarity. Home to Elena, to truth. Chicago welcomed him back with a cold front, wind whipping off the lake like a scorned lover's slap. Elena's car was in the driveway, Sarah's too. Home from Champaign for a surprise weekend. Nicholas parked, steeling himself, the Polaroids now a talisman in his breast pocket. Inside, laughter filtered from the kitchen, Elena chopping onions, Sarah regaling Ben via speakerphone about a frat party flop. Normalcy, fragile as spun glass. Dad! Sarah hugged him fierce, oblivious. Elena met his eyes over her shoulder, a question in hers. Later, after pizza and bad Netflix, she joined him in the study. Well? She asked, perching on the desk. He told her everything. The road, the punch, the riverside absolution. Omitted the heat in Tyler's gaze, the brush of fingers that lingered paternal and profane. Elena listened, then sighed. I called a lawyer Monday. Separation papers. Nicholas's heart stuttered. Elena, not divorce. Yet. Space to breathe. She touched his cheek. Thumb tracing the bruise Tyler left. A mark of honesty. I loved you enough to stay blind. Now, I love you enough to let you see. They made love that night. Slow and searching. Not passion but partnership, bodies familiar. Souls adrift. Morning brought coffee and contracts. She'd keep the house. He'd crash at the agency gym till he found a place. Sarah sensed the shift. Hugging tighter. Whatever it is, Dad, we're Team Harper. The agency noticed too, whispers about his absences. The hollow pitches. His boss, grizzled Frank from the Mad Men era, pulled him aside. Harper, you look like you saw a ghost. Take the week. Nicholas did, diving into the box of Tyler's things. The sketch pads revealed obsessions. Portraits of Nicholas, layered over boyhood memories, his laugh lines etched with swing set chains. The mixtape played on loop. Thunder Road, Casimir Pulaski Day, songs of escape and elegy. One track, a voice memo, Tyler's, raw acoustic guitar strumming. This is for the dad I'll never know, and the lover who might. Nicholas wept again, then booked a flight Nashville, one way. But conflict brewed closer to home. Thursday, Vasquez called, haze surfaced. Safe in Tennessee. Dropped the missing person. Said it was a misunderstanding. Relief flooded. Then dread. He mentioned me? A pause. Said your family. Complicated family. The line went dead. Nicholas's phone buzzed anew. Unknown number. Bluebird Cafe. Friday. 8 p.m. Us three. Tyler. Heart pounding. He texted Elena. Dinner in Nashville? Important. Her reply, go. But come back whole. Friday's flight was turbulence incarnate, mirroring the storm in his chest. Nashville hummed with honky-tonk energy. Nicholas rented a Civic, drove to the Bluebird with hands slick on the wheel. Inside, the stage lights bathed Tyler in gold. He'd booked a slot, guitar in lap, singing an original Bloodlines and Backroads, lyrics weaving abandonment and redemption. The crowd leaned in. Nicholas slipped to a back table, unseen. Then Elena entered, scanning till Tyler waved her over. They talked low, intent, Elena's posture softening as Tyler gestured, perhaps explaining, forgiving. When Nicholas approached, the air thickened. Elena, he said, voice cracking. She turned, eyes wet. He called me yesterday. Told me the rest. The rest. Tyler's search. The bar chance meeting that was fate's cruel joke. The love that bloomed despite the taboo. Elena's hand found Nicholas's. I hated him at first. Then, I understood. You're both broken by the same man. Tyler stood, awkward in the spotlight's afterglow. Sit. Let's try this, family, fucked up as it is. They did. Burgers at a dive nearby. Stories swapping like cards. Elena on raising her kids while Nicholas wandered. Tyler on foster holidays. Camera as shield. Laughter edged in. Tentative. Sarah's birth story. Tyler's first queer kiss. By midnight, walking the neon streets, Elena linked arms with both. No more hiding. But Nick. It's over. Friends. Co-parents. Lovers? That's yours to figure. Betrayals echo lingered. Not just Nicholas's original sin, but the web it spun. Elena's quiet affairs in the 90s, suspected but unspoken. Tyler's string of toxic exes, chasing daddy issues. High drama peaked Saturday at a farm outside Franklin. Tyler's temporary crash pad, a queer artist's commune with goats and geodesic domes. Elena bonded with the residents over wine. Nicholas and Tyler stole moments in the hayloft, bodies colliding not with motel frenzy but aching honesty. "This can't be," Nicholas murmured, Tyler's lips on his neck. "It is," Tyler replied, fingers in his hair. "Blood made us. Love keeps us." Elena walked in at dawn, caught no accusations, just a sad smile. "Go slow. For all of us." Back in Chicago Sunday, the papers signed. Amicable split. House joint till the kids graduated. Elena moved a painting, a Basquiat print, to her new loft in River North. Nicholas sublet a Wicker Park walk-up, steps from the bar where it began. Work stabilized. Frank promoted him to creative director. "'Cause you finally look alive, Harper." But the real high tide crashed Monday, Sarah's call. "Mom told me about Tyler. My brother." Shock. Then tears. She demanded a meet. Then followed, stoic. "As long as he's not a dick like you were, Dad." Family dinner that week. 5 Harpers at a Ukrainian village spot. Tyler shy in flannel, passing pierogies. Awkward silences broke into toasts, to truths, to tomorrows. Yet climax loomed in shadows. 2 weeks later, an envelope arrived at Nicholas's door, no stamp, hand-delivered. Inside, a final Polaroid. Tyler and Elena arm-in-arm at the commune. Backs to the camera. Nashville skyline faint. Note: your turn to run or stay. Paranoia spiked. Tyler's ex-roommate, the bruiser from months back, spotted lurking near the agency. Texts from burner. "Stay away from him. He's mine." Stalking? Jealousy reborn? Nicholas alerted Vasquez. She shrugged. "Civil matter. Get a restraining order." But fear festered. Tyler's shoots now guarded. His laugh rarer. The breaking point came Friday, motel irony full circle. Nicholas waited in their old room. Tyler arriving late. Spooked. "Saw him outside my darkroom. Big guy. Tats." Panic surged. Nicholas bolted the door, pulling Tyler close. "We'll move you to my place." Tyler resisted. Not hiding again. Confront it. They drove to the ex's address, a Logan Square walk-up, heartbeats sinking in the dashcam glow. The brute answered shirtless. Sneer curling. "Harper's bitch boy." Words escalated. "Stay away." Or what? Fists flew. Nicholas took a haymaker to the ribs. Tyler dodging a swing. Then Elena's minivan screeched up. Vasquez in tow, tipped by Nicholas's earlier call. Cuffs clicked. The ex spat curses as they hauled him. Fucking faggots and their daddy issues. Aftermath. Hospital for Nicholas's cracked rib. Ice packs and morphine dreams of Grant Park swings. Tyler at his bedside. Elena bringing soup. "Family sticks," she said, kissing his forehead platonic. Release brought clarity, therapy, group for queer dads. Boundaries drawn. Tyler moved in, tentative. Separate beds till trust rebuilt. Romance simmered. Paternal first movie nights with Sarah. Grilling with Ben. Elena's brunches weaving them tighter. Winter gripped Chicago like a grudge. Snow blanketing the parks where secrets first thawed. Nicholas's walk-up became a nest. Tyler's prints on walls. Elena's Afghans on the couch. the Harper clan orbiting closer. Therapy unpacked layers. Nicholas's sessions with a grizzled shrink named Lou, dissecting the closet's claustrophobia. Tyler's with a queer youth group, healing foster fractures. Dates emerged shy, dinners at the Purple Pig, hands brushing over burrata, walks along the frozen lake, breaths fogging like confessions. "Love you as son," Nicholas whispered one night, Tyler's head on his chest. "Love you as man," Tyler replied, kiss sealing both. Spring bloomed betrayal's counterpoint. The ex's trial, a plea bargain to assault, but whispers of deeper rot, ties to a Boys Town ring preying on young queers. Vasquez looped Nicholas in, "Hayes ID'd him. Your story helped. Justice. Bittersweet." Tyler testified, voice steady. Nicholas in the gallery, pride swelling past shame. Elena attended too, her presence a bridge. We're all survivors. Post-verdict beers at a dive. The three toasted to endings, to encores. Summer tested romance's fire. A commune invite pulled Tyler back to Nashville. Nicholas followed, Elena minding the fort. Days blurred in geodesic haze. Photo shoots in wildflower fields. Nights under stars where Tyler's lens captured Nicholas unguarded. Laughing, scarred, alive. One evening, by the farm's bonfire, Tyler knelt, not with ring but Polaroid, a fresh shot of them, arms linked, Elena photobombed in the background. "Marry this life," he said. "All of it." Nicholas pulled him up. Yes, trembling on lips. Not wedding vows, but commitment, therapy, openness, the messy middle. Back north. Conflicts crested small. Sarah's hesitation. He's cool, but weird. Dad. Eased by Tyler's Cubs tickets. Ben's gruff approval after a fishing trip. Rod's casting lines like forgiveness. Elena dated, a professor with kind eyes, Nicholas cheering from afar. Their divorce final but friendship forged. Agency accolades rolled in, a Clio for the beer campaign. Frank clapping his back. "Knew you had wild in you, kid." Tyler's exhibit at the Frame sold out. Blood echoes. Faces now clear. Nicholas Central. Titled Redemption Swing. Climax whispered in autumn gales. A letter from Alex's sister, unearthed in estate papers. "He loved you fierce. Nicky. Forgave the run. Tyler does too." Enclosed. A locket with baby Tyler's curl. Alex's note, "Our miracle. Raise him right if you ever man up." Nicholas broke then. In the study, Tyler's arms around him. Elena on speaker from her loft. "We raise him now. Together, the human we've tightened." Holidays at Elena's. Thanksgivings with pierogies and Tyler's blues riffs. Christmases trading Polaroids. Each frame a chapter claimed. Yet drama's undercurrent pulled. Tyler's wanderlust. A gig offer in L.A. "Come?" he asked. "I stormy." Nicholas wavered. Roots in Chicago. Kids' graduations looming. Elena mediated over wine. "Go." "Life's not stationary." He did. Subletting the walk-up. Agency remote. L.A. shimmered, Hollywood Hills. Tyler shoots for indie films. Nicholas freelancing scripts that bled personal. Beaches at Malibu became confessionals. Waves erasing old sins. Hands interlacing under palm shade. Elena visited. Ben in tow. Queer paradise, Ben joked, warming to Tyler's dad jokes. Winter circled back. 5th anniversary of the vanishing. They returned to Chicago full circle. Lakeside motel raised for condos. Sight now a park bench etched for the lost and found. Family gathered. Sarah engaged. Ben med school bound. Elena's professor integrated. Picnic under oaks. Polaroids passed. Timelines stitched. Boy Tyler. Young Nicholas. Now them. Aged graceful. Tyler stood. Guitar slung. Song for the secret keepers. Strums wove Thunder Road with originals. Voices joining Elena's alto. Kids' harmonies. Nicholas's baritone rough with grace. As dusk fell, Nicholas pulled Tyler aside. Locket from Alex gleaming. Marry me? All the ways. Tyler grinned. Gap-toothed echo. Yes. That. Love. Everything. Elena overheard. Toasting. To untold secrets. Told true. Laughter rose. Wind carrying it lakewood, human. Flawed. Redeemed. No tidy bows, but threads enduring. Love's quiet rebellion against betrayal's bite. In America's heartland sprawl, they'd carved a story not of vanishing, but arriving whole, witnessed, wild. Epilogue whispers years on. A gallery wall in their Wicker Park home, Polaroids chronicling the arc. Nicholas, graying, Tyler's hand in his at Sarah's wedding. Elena dancing with her man, eyes meeting across the floor. Gratitude, not loss. Ben's toast, to dads who learn late, but love loud. Fade to now, two men on the porch swing. Chicago lights twinkling. A new photo snapped, smiles unshadowed. Secret no more.